What if I told you that hard flaccid syndrome doesn't always start in the body part where the symptoms are felt? In fact, according to recent research, the symptoms of hard flaccid syndrome may originate from 5 completely different regions of the body. The surprising part? Two people can have almost identical symptoms, and yet the root cause may be completely different. This could explain why some people recover through pelvic floor rehabilitation, while others don't improve until they address their nervous system, stress response, or even spinal issues. So in this video, we're going to break down the 5 proposed regions involved in hard flaccid syndrome.
Let's start at the very top, with the brain.
When most people think about hard flaccid syndrome, they immediately think about the private area. But research suggests the brain may actually play a much bigger role than many realize.
Your brain constantly regulates sexual function, pelvic muscle activity, the system balancing relaxation, the fight or flight response.
Now imagine what happens after a physical injury or a frightening experience.
You become anxious. You constantly check your symptoms. You worry that you've permanently damaged yourself. Your brain stays on high alert.
Over time, this persistent state of stress can increase sympathetic nervous system activity, the body's fight or flight response.
Instead of allowing the pelvis to relax and heal, the body remains in a protective mode.
Research suggests this may keep the pelvic floor muscles tense, amplify pain signals, and maintain the reflex even after the original injury has healed.
So in some individuals, the brain may no longer be responding to the injury. It may actually be sustaining the condition itself.
Next comes the spinal cord.
Think of the spinal cord as the body's communication highway. Every signal traveling between the brain and the pelvis passes through here.
According to the proposed mechanism, abnormal sensory signals coming from the pelvis or excessive sympathetic signals coming from the brain are processed within spinal autonomic centers.
Once these signals are amplified, they can increase sympathetic output while simultaneously reducing the parasympathetic signals responsible for normal erections and healthy blood flow.
This imbalance may explain several hallmark symptoms of hard flaccid syndrome, including increased firmness in the flaccid state,
reduced erection quality, and altered sensations. The spinal cord isn't necessarily the source of the problem, but it can become a major relay station that helps maintain it. Now we move lower to the cauda equina.
This is a bundle of nerve roots located at the bottom of the spinal cord.
These nerve roots eventually form several important nerves involved in pelvic function, including the pudendal, pelvic, and hypogastric nerves. If these nerve roots become irritated, compressed, inflamed, or overly sensitive, they may begin sending abnormal sensory information to the spinal cord.
According to the research, this abnormal input may continuously activate the same pathological pelvic reflex.
Patients whose symptoms originate here may experience burning sensations, numbness, tingling, pelvic pain, urinary symptoms, or sexual dysfunction. The pelvis. This is where many researchers believe hard flaccid syndrome most commonly begins. The pelvis contains the muscles, connective tissues, and nerves that directly support normal function. Research proposes several possible triggers. pelvic floor muscle injury, chronic muscle spasm, pudendal nerve irritation, perineal trauma, aggressive masturbation, excessive Kegel exercises, prolonged cycling, long periods of sitting, heavy lifting. Each of these may create abnormal sensory signals. Those signals travel through the pudendal nerve. These signals can activate excessive sympathetic activity. The pelvic floor muscles remain guarded, blood flow changes, and smooth muscle remains contracted. This may ultimately produce many of the symptoms associated with Hard Flaccid Syndrome. Finally, we arrive at the penis itself. Contrary to what many people believe, research suggests that even relatively small injuries may be capable of triggering this reflex. These may include minor injuries involving the penile ligaments, fascia, tunica, or trauma during sexual activity or masturbation. Even if the tissue damage is relatively mild, abnormal sensory signals may travel back into the nervous system and activate the same pathological reflex described throughout this model. Once activated, increased sympathetic activity may lead to a semi-rigid flaccid state, coldness, reduced sensitivity, penile retraction, erectile dysfunction, and changes in blood flow. In other words, the penis may be where the condition begins, but not necessarily where it stays. So what does all of this actually mean? The key message from this research is that Hard Flaccid Syndrome may not have a single point of origin.
Instead, researchers propose that the condition may begin in one of 5 different anatomical regions:
The brain, spinal cord, cauda equina, pelvis, and perineum, or the penis itself. Although these regions are different, each has the potential to generate abnormal sensory input, or neural activity capable of activating the pelvic, pudendal, hypogastric reflex. According to the proposed model, activation of this reflex may increase sympathetic nervous system activity.
And that's the proposed 5-region model behind Hard Flaccid Syndrome.
If you found this breakdown helpful, consider subscribing.
Because we'll be exploring the latest research, potential mechanisms,
and evidence-based insights into Hard Flaccid Syndrome right here on this channel.